Shown here are some of the most recommended nail clippers on the market. Perhaps you even see yours here. Which one of these do you think is going to make it out on top? Hey there, Balanced Canine followers. Well, the long-awaited video has finally come, and today's video is about nail clippers and which ones I rate highly. I bought a whole ton of them. I've spent a whole bunch of money on them, and in the end I've narrowed it down to how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different clippers. Now I've tried them all. I've tried the cheap ones from Kmart and Big W and eBay, and I've tried the expensive ones as well. So let's go through them and see what my thoughts were on them. Okay, so let's start with Andis Premium. Now, most of the nail clippers that I actually purchased had to be really good for Great Dane nails, okay, because I not only have a 13 kilo Labrador cross, but also have a 70 to 80 kilo Great Dane with very thick nails. So one of the first ones that I bought was this one. Now, it is very, very solid and very, very sound. Now these ones are $21, and I purchased this one from ozgroomingworld.com.au. Now I have no beefs with this clipper, but I like super sharp clippers so I can slice very finely when I need to. Some nails you can't actually see with the quick is, so doing a nice slicing action helps you take a little bit off by a little bit off without actually getting too close to the quick. These ones, unfortunately, they didn't give me that option. They are fairly quiet, they're not too loud, but they just weren't sharp enough and the blades were just too thick. So you would think that that would be a really good thing for the thicker nails, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. And when you don't have super sharp nail clippers, then the dogs are going to be more offended. Now the Purina Professional, let's have a look at these ones. They look kind of funky, right? So super quiet, you can't even hear that. So that is a massive tick in my book, that these are very, very quiet. But just like the Andis black ones, these guys were just not sharp enough. They didn't actually open enough, so for a large dog they just didn't do what I needed them to do. The Kazoo Deluxe from petcircle.com.au, these guys were $18. Quiet again, really, really good. When I first tried these the first couple of times, I was like, yeah, they're not too bad. The blades aren't as thick as the other ones, so that means I actually like them a lot better, but they just weren't that sharp and they just didn't cut the mustard, unfortunately. Also in the Kazoo range is the Guillotine. Now if you haven't seen the Guillotine, this is what they look like. So when you press that handle, the little blade actually comes up. That sound is not taken well by a lot of dogs. But even though the Guillotine seems cool, and it is probably perfectly okay for dogs with tiny little nails, this was not going to do anything for me. It's going to provide pressure on the nail, and dogs don't like that. So guillotine cutters, I think if you're going to go for one of these, you need to have a very small dog. The Purina Professional. What I was really irked about with the Purina ones is that it's pink. Just because females are the majority of people who buy for their pets doesn't mean that we like pink. It's very stereotypical, isn't it? Now the reason why I went for the Purina ones, these are from Pet Barn, is because the nail clippers that were my absolute favorite ones in the whole world that died a little while ago were Purina. And I loved them. They were sharp and I could slice a bit of nail off, and they were really awesome. These are $26. Now they're very sturdy. They're actually quite heavy. I like the grip on them, but they're just clunky and they're not sharp, and they're probably the one that I least prefer out of the top ones. Okay, my second favorite one. Actually, we'll go back one step. My third favorite one. Miller's Forge, the large. Okay, so Miller's Forge is definitely a name that is related to quality in the canine world. These guys are for large dogs. They're pretty awesome. Yeah, they're sharp, the blades again are quite thick. What I didn't like is actually the handles. They didn't fit into my hands very well, and they slide. So my hands would actually slide off them. So that was one thing that I didn't really like about them. But it's my top 3, okay? My second one that I really, really liked is Stylet. Now the Stylet I got from petcircle.com.au, and if I'm going to be clipping really large dog's nails that are pretty thick, I'm going to go with the Stylet. The blades aren't as thick as the other ones, so that's why I like it. I can slice, not as much as I really, really want to, but they can definitely do the job. Now, my absolute favorite, and these blew my mind. They're weird looking, and I absolutely wish that they came in bigger sizes. Now what I love about these clippers is that they're quiet. They're really, really quiet, and they're incredibly sharp. None of the other nail clippers come even close. So these are the Miller's Forge. Look at these tiny little nail clippers. These are called the plier, okay? So large Miller's Forge, and this is called like the medium Miller's Forge. Okay, so my wish would be that these come in a bigger size. If I use these on a day, I have to do the sides of the nails first and then come back to the top. I can't get the whole nail in there because they don't actually open up that well. But I'm going to show you shortly how, with my Labrador Cross, who does not like his nails done. He doesn't freak out or anything like that, but he can be very challenging in the terms of kicking me in the head if I'm picking up a back leg, or he'll just keep pulling his foot away, and it's really annoying and it's really challenging. These guys, so the first time I did them, he was kind of like, oh, you know, all that memory from, you know, other clippers. He was like, oh no, I don't want to bother with this. Then he kind of started to settle down, and then the second time I did it, he just stood there. So these guys blew my mind. Now, Miller's Forge, I got these on Amazon. These were $26. You can get them from different places. A lot of places tend to always be out of stock of these, I think because everyone loves them so much. But I'm going to provide you with a link to Amazon so you can grab them from there. Of course, do your independent research as well. Okay, cool. What I don't like about the Miller's Forge, these small ones, I don't know, for other people who clip on a lot of nails, you see these little lock things here? I hate these. These are so annoying. But I also do not like the nail guards. They're super annoying as well. So I always have my nail guards down. And if necessary, I will take them down as well because I really don't like them. But why I don't like the little lock on the Miller's Forge is because if I'm down like this cutting nails, do you see what just happened there? It locked and I couldn't open it. That's really, really annoying. So I'm going to show you a little trick. So what you're going to need is some tape. I'm using rock tape. And all you're going to do is simply tape them down. Because what's really annoying, if you've got a dog that's maybe not a big fan of having their nails done, and you've got yourself in the perfect position, you're just about to go in for the cut, and you can't bloody open your clippers. So, you see that there? There's a little lock. So I'm just going to come in here and do that. So now I can do them in all different ways. Now, my second favorite, which are the Stylet, they also have this. I also hate it because it also locks on me when I'm just in that crucial moment of cutting a dog's nails, which is really, really annoying. So again, they go down. Okay, cool. One thing I did when I was trying the Purina Professional ones, because these are, can you hear that? That's really loud and that's really offensive to a lot of dogs. So what I did, and if you've got clippers at home and they make a lot of sound, grab your tape again. I like rock tape because it's actually a stretchy type of tape. Kind of just make a little padding. So I'm just going to fold it in on itself a little bit. That's sticking to myself. And then in the springs, I'm going to just stick it up there and down. So now we've gone from that loud to you can barely hear it. So I find dogs find the actual clipping sound really offensive. So if you've got loud clippers at home, go ahead and do that. All right, now everyone always goes, but the Dremel. Yes, but the Dremel. Okay, so I love the Dremel Micro. This is around $99 at Bunnings. Now I have a diamond head on it. I'm very lucky that I was actually sent a sample of this because these guys are about $200 just for the head, and the actual unit's only $100. But you can just use a normal head on them as well. What's really cool about diamond head is that they don't really heat up as much. I think they kind of promoted them as don't heat up at all, but they do heat up, it's just not as much. They do have little holes throughout so they can actually cool down. Now the Dremel can be really awesome for dogs that don't like their nails being cut. But it depends why dogs don't actually like their nails being cut. Is it because of the sound? Is it because of the pressure? Is it because of the handler is squeezing feet or nails or making it really uncomfortable? Is it because internally the handler is actually freaking out because they think they're going to clip too far or something like that? Then sometimes those dogs are high anxiety. They're not going to be okay with this. So that's on about normal. You can turn it down. As you turn it down and you make it quieter, it's actually going to go clunk, clunk, clunk when you hit it on the nail because it's not going very fast. So if you go fast, as you actually connect with the nail, it's actually going to make more of a sound and it's going to vibrate as well. And it's that vibration that dogs generally don't like. So what I do if I'm getting a dog used to a Dremel, I might just turn it on, I might just have it with me, I might be patting them or give them a treat or something like that. If we're built up to the point that I'm going to touch them with it, I'm not going to touch it with this end, I'm going to touch it with this end. And that's what I'm going to do just to get them used to vibration. Alright, let's go have a look at Little Man, my little Labrador cross, and see what he thinks about these clippers. Now I have only recently just cut his nails, so I'm not even sure that there's any nail to clip, but it'll sort of give you a good understanding as well. Hey guys, we're back here with Little Man, and the things that we need are our clippers, and we've got quick stop powder just in case. So if you're one of those people that really worry about cutting your dogs quick, well, number one, I'm going to give you some tips to try and avoid that, but have this ready just in case. All you have to do is stick the dog's nail on it and it'll stop bleeding. And you want to have your treats as well. All right, Little, come here. Good boy. I prefer doing dogs standing up, and the reason that I like doing it that way is because I can actually do their nails like a horse. We call it horsey style. So if you imagine a farrier doing a horse's feet, they're actually going to pick them up and turn them over. Now, why I like doing that is because you can actually see what you're cutting. Now, in a lot of cases with these black dogs, unfortunately, it's not always going to be that easy. Every dog's nail is different. Sometimes, like say for example, Gav the Great Dane, when you flip his feet over and you actually have a look at the nail, you'll actually see a clear definition between the nail and the flesh, not necessarily the quick that sits behind the flesh. With Little here, you don't get to see that. So, you know, we just take off a little bit by little bit, and you will see that quick start to come through, which is in the middle of the nail. It's like a little nubbly bit that's either like a whitey or pinky kind of texture. All right, so let me just bring Little over here. Good boy. Shall I bring him all the way here? So I'll show you the back feet first. Good boy. So, hi Little. So what I'm going to do is pick up a foot. I'm going to have a look at where I need to clip. Now I will never ever clip a nail when a dog's moving. I need to commit to it, so I'm put light pressure on it and then clip, okay? Now if Little was just starting out with this and we needed to just reward him after every single nail, that's perfectly fine. I do have clients that who are more like tug or ball driven, and we will actually do one nail tug, one nail tug, and then over time you build it up to 1 foot tug, and then you get it done pretty well. Okay, Little, this way. So some tips about getting nails done. You need to be very careful as a handler how you're actually handling the dog. Be very careful about squeezing the toe, squeezing the foot. Putting the leg into awkward places, like out here, all the way like that. You need to keep it in the line of the body, what's actually normal and natural for them. Some dogs like to look, some dogs don't. I find the back feet aren't too bad with dogs, but as soon as you start to get to the front, that's when they start to get worried. That sound of the clippers becomes louder, and they start to see what's actually going on. Okay, so we're one down. Now this is a dog that normally, doing his back feet, would actually kick me in the head when I'm doing it. And by that I mean, I might be looking like this and he'll give me a good kick to the head. Okay. Do I need to put the treats in front of you this way? Come here. I don't mind doing that as well, where they can actually, the treats are just out of range, so they can look at it. Good boy. Lifting up. Good. Waiting. Waiting. Thank you. Good boy. And so you can barely hear it. And don't feel that you need to be rushed doing it either. Excellent work, little. Very good. Alright, now with front nails, what I do not suggest, unless you really are very comfortable with what you're doing, I do not suggest you do this, because you don't know where that quick is that you're clipping. You're taking a really good guess, okay? So what I would do instead is pick a foot up, have a look underneath to see if you can actually see where you should be clipping. And if you can't, this is where really thick nails come into play, because that's when you can actually do these little slices and have your quick stop powder just in case you make a mistake. Excellent, good boy, little. Well done. Awesome. So things that you don't want to be doing when you're clipping your dog's nails. You don't want to be forcing them into a submissive position, laying down on their side, on their back, or what have you. As soon as you start manhandling a dog into a submissive position, you're going to get them off on the wrong foot. So ideally, you're going to take the time to desensitize the dog to cutting, and it can be as simple as picking up a foot, pressing on a foot, because ideally what you tend to do is you're going to put a little pressure on a toe to sort of get it to show you the entire nail so you can see it in its full glory. Now, I actually did, when you saw him before, pull back a little bit. That was me actually getting us quick. Good boy. So, it's not food, little. So I'm just putting his foot in the powder, and he stopped bleeding already. So when I picked up the foot after he pulled it back for a second, I had a look to see if I did get the quick, and it didn't look like it had, but it took a moment to start bleeding. Okay, good boy. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so little, can you come this way, please? Very good. So you just want to get them used to actually having their feet touched and their nails touched, a little bit of pressure. You can give them a little bit of food. Then what you can do is build up to just touching with the clippers. Then you can build up to tapping with the nail clippers, or even with the spoon. It's a similar sensation. And then just getting them used to, I usually go underneath the nail and just go clip, kind of just give it a little bit of a rub. Very good. And so you'll slowly build up to doing that clip. Dogs get offended when their nails get squeezed by unsharp clippers and really bulky blades. So just keep that in mind. This is why I love these English Forge pliers. They're fantastic. Good boy.